We know there's talent all over the world, here in the U.S., and you know that Britain's Got Talent. We saw that with Susan Boyle. And now there's the brain power of a British toddler. And that side of the pond is looking awfully talented these days. Our Taryn Winter-Brill checked out the competition.
There's been a whole lot to stand up and cheer for in the UK these days, and now another pint-sized prodigy from England is making a big splash across the pond. But this time it's for her big brain, rather than her big voice.
You want an isosceles triangle?
She's only 2 years old, but little Elise Roberts has an IQ of 156. Albert Einstein's was 160. Mensa, the high IQ fraternity, recently welcomed Elise as their youngest member. She can count in Spanish. But her favorite thing? World capitals.
What's the capital of America?
Washington.
What's the capital of Japan?
Tokyo.
She knows 35 of them. Not bad for a 2-year-old.
What's the capital of Sierra Leone?
Freetown.
What's the capital of Nigeria?
Abuja.
And as I found out, that's a lot more than most of us. We'll start easy. Spain. How about the capital of Nigeria? Abu Dhabi? How about Nigeria?
No chance.
Djibouti? How about Sierra Leone?
Oh, no chance.
Sierra Leone?
I have no idea.
Freeport.
No, that's actually a town on Long Island. Maybe we Americans should take this as a sign to start drinking more tea and eating more crumpets.
When we first moved here, I was in kindergarten, and after I tried that for a year, but it was boring. And then my mom found out that I could do multiplication and division when we would work at home. So after I finished that year in kindergarten, she started homeschooling me.
It wasn't just Stephen's mother on the job. His older sister, Marty, was helping to teach a few things herself.
She is basically the reason I'm here, like, right now. Because when I was, like, 2 and 3, when she would come back home from school, we would get bored. So she would play school. And she taught me addition and a little bit of subtraction. And then I started doing 2-column addition when I was 3. It was fun. Like, we used to just play around, and I was having fun while we were doing it.
Stephen's final attempt at traditional elementary school was at the age of 9 in the 4th grade, which was unsuccessful. His parents then had a difficult decision to make.
It was a great school. They were fabulous. But for some reason, once again, it wasn't being reflected in the classroom. Now, I don't know if because he had friends there and he was distracted. So my husband, you know, we need to just pull him. And that's when we started to homeschool him. And we've been doing that ever since then. And then Morehouse came.
2 years after being pulled from conventional school, Stephen was on the campus of Morehouse College taking algebra and pre-calculus, earning the highest score in his class and even tutoring a few of his classmates. Some students may have panicked from the pressure, but Stephen has his own little strategy.
For me, I don't view the people. I view the lesson. So for me, it would be like any other 12 or 13-year-old going to 7th grade, going to middle school. I just go to a different spot.
This is my first semester with him, and I was kind of surprised when you walked through the door. He's one of the guys, that's why. Not a lot to differentiate between the other ones. He comes to class, participates, he interacts with the guys, they all interact with him. And they all, well, based on what I've seen, they just accept him as another student.
The mother of Stephen and Marty, Michelle Stafford, is an acceleration coach by trade who wanted to create an online community for parents to help restore their child's love for learning, as well as a resource for accelerated education. And from that, Mocha Charm was born. Mocha Charm was created by Mrs. Stafford, who started working with her children when they were 2 years old, simply because she wanted them to have a good educational foundation. The online community was created not just to provide help for other students, but to teach parents how to build their very own child prodigy using free resources within their community.
I work with parents who are trying to, how can I say, kind of accelerate their own kids, or not just accelerate them, but get them to perform at their natural pace. Because a lot of times, I mean, people say accelerated, they're talking about just working a little bit beyond the curriculum, and that's not really hard if you really think about it.
Many times, students are unable to learn in a traditional classroom setting. According to Mrs. Stafford, that doesn't always have to be bad news.
Find out which way they like to receive the information, which way is easiest for them. I mean, yeah, of course, they're going to always do the pencil and paper, you know that's coming. But while they're at home, you have all this freedom to try different things with them, you know? And it's always, of course, the museums, go to the library, those things are free, they have free resources. I mean, use what's available in your community.
To all parents, mentors, counselors, big brothers and sisters, with many public schools facing budget shortfalls, our students need you now more than ever. For more information on the Art of Acceleration, be sure to visit mocha-charm.com. That's mocha-charm.com, or call 678-313-9607. Reporting from Morehouse College campus, Rodriguez Britton, Inside the Cab.
My name is Tony DeMarco Hansberry II. I'm a 9th grader at Darnell Cookman Soma School of the Medical Arts.
We have this round shape that's left that we have to close up, and that's what he's going to attempt to do, is just stitch that closed.
I was given the opportunity to come and present my project that I did alongside Dr. Steibel and Mr. Nappy at the Simulation Center.
Yeah, it takes more maneuvers, many more maneuvers.
Basically what it's called is the comparison of novel laparoscopic instruments and doing a hysterectomy repair.
So to do it traditionally, it would require grasping the needle.
And laparoscopic surgery is a surgery also known as keyhole surgery, and it's where the surgeons make 3 holes in the abdomen instead of making a large incision. I went to Darnell Cookman Middle School, and I really wanted to be in the medical field. Well, there's no other school in Jacksonville that's going to be like Darnell Cookman Soma. I knew that this opportunity would be the better one.
You can go in there with that or your Bovie grasper. He's got one hand acting as a...
Our school is beautiful for kids. It's great for professionals. It's great for us, the teachers.
And that was the basis of his study, can the sewing machine do these stitches faster?
As a student, he was exposed to a summer internship program where he did spend some time at our simulation center. And it was there that we met and saw some of the work our department was doing with these very models and this equipment, teaching this skill. We were trying to design models to simulate the actual skill for my residents.
It takes a center like ours to rediscover this old sewing machine and to train enough doctors to use it that other doctors see the advantage.
I came through the vaginal cuff vertically. And now what I'm doing is I'm switching to the opposite side.
It certainly means a lot. I think it's one of the advantages of having the simulation center in such close proximity to a medical magnet school. It allows these young individuals with an interest in medicine to come over and do some hands-on, which hopefully will keep them motivated and keep them focused on their goals of ultimately, going to medical school and becoming a physician.
We know it works with regular doctors but we also know now that somebody as young as a 9th grader or 10th grader could learn to do this.
I'm going to try the first one, and after I do that, I'm going to make another one. Judging that I'm a 9th grader, I'm not going to say I'm better than a doctor because, of course, I'm not.
What was impressive, though, with this young man is he designed then a study, 2 approaches to it, did multiple trials with each approach, calculated his time, and really put a lot of thought and effort into this. And I think that's what impressed me most.
When I get older, I understand much more better, but yeah, it is a good opportunity, and I really love the opportunity that I'm getting. Switching to the opposite side, so I can begin to tie the surgeons now.
You are young, gifted, and blind. We must begin to tell our young. There's a world waiting for you. Yours is the quest has just begun.
Bledsoe Technologies. He is the CEO and president of one of the nation's fastest growing corporations, the #1 IT consultancy firm run by a miner in the Midwest. Yes, I said miner. When we last checked in with Jalen Bledsoe, he was 13 years old and promising to hire and expand his business when he got to high school. He's now a sophomore in high school, and we are asking him to come in and talk about that expansion. Thanks so much for coming in. It's good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tell us about your business, how you got started, and I was always told when I was your age not to ask this, but you're a millionaire.
Valued at $1 million, yes.
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
It's an IT company. We work on IT consultations to companies in St. Louis as well as global across the U.S. now. We do website designs, graphics, as well as server consulting purchases with Lenovo and Microsoft. So yeah, it's pretty much IT consultation around the...
How old were you when this started?
I was 13 years old, 12, 13 years old when I first got started as an LLC in 2012.
And you had a mentor?
Yeah, Scott Schnuck. He's been an amazing guy in this process.
From the grocery store?
Yes.
Yeah. And what information did he give you in a nutshell that helped you get this start?
Take risks. There's nothing you can do as a miner that'll shoot you down for too long. Because you're young, you can jump back up and keep going. And that's one thing I lived by since then, is to keep going and move forward and always take risks.
Well, you do what you know, and you love what you do. And you're also working with another entrepreneur. You've got a big event coming up.
Yes, it's Trip Start Day by Independent Youth. We're speaking at SLU on September 23rd, and it's a peer-to-peer mentoring program where we have 14 youth entrepreneurs from around the country. Lachlan Johnson, she did Flip Out. She was on Shark Tank a few years ago, actually. Adele Ann Taylor, nonprofit entrepreneur, as well as Jim McKelvey, the co-founder of Square, will be speaking at this event.
That's fantastic. How many employees do you have at this point? Because that's what you said when you were 13. You wanted to expand the business.
At 13, I had 2 contractors. Now I have 150 contractors around the country.
That is fantastic. How does that work for you as far as having a contractor? What's your responsibility with them?
Delegating tasks to them, making sure they get done, and paying their paychecks, of course.
And what's the next big thing?
Next big thing is actually I'm working on a hotel project with a few hotels called Check-in Mobile. Check into the hotel from your phone and use your phone as your key as well.
Hey, Randy, we should invest in this guy.
Oh my goodness.
I see potential.
I feel woefully inadequate right now.
Are you going to go on to business, one of the universities?
Yes, my goal is to actually attend Vanderbilt University and then moving to Harvard University after that.
Oh, so you're shooting high there. You're all ready. Thank you so much for coming in, Jalen Bledsoe. Bledsoe Technologies, the CEO and president.
Yes.
Randy?
I am very happy and proud to see this young brother be a self-made millionaire. And he's not even 18 years old yet. He got 150 people working for him. He's signing checks. He paying people. And this young man is ambitious. He wants to do more in his life than what he's already doing. And this is great because all the stories that, is shown about black people is always some negative crap. Always some propaganda. We thugs. Our women are hoes. And all this other stuff. All we can do is be an entertainer and not an innovator. Well, look at this brother. Have his own IT company. And any of you brothers who are very smart in computers, create your own companies. That way you don't have to beg nobody for no job. You don't have to beg nobody for no chances. This brother created his own chances. He working for himself. He's not working for nobody else. He ain't got to put up with nobody's crap every day on no job. Or worry about people treating him some way different than other people. He is the boss himself. And brothers, you need to do this. You need to be an example to not only our children, but even to the women as well. There's a lot of brothers always trying to point fingers at the women, tell them to get their act together. But how can they get their act together when you don't have your act together? You need to show them what they need to do that's right in order for you to tell them to correct their wrong. Now, more brothers become like this brother, business owners, brothers who are ambitious, brothers who want something out of life. That's going to turn the community around. And don't give me where I got a criminal record, because I just talked to a brother 2 days ago. He's making $100,000 a year, and he was a felon. He said he got out of jail, he got a CDL license, started driving trucks, saved his money, bought his own truck. Now he's making $100,000 a year, and he's a felon, and he's a black man, and he's sending his kids to private school because he said he don't want his kids in those public schools. They don't learn nothing at all. So not only did he make the money, turned his life around, but now he's giving his kids a chance to even advance further than where he has gotten to. And that's a smart brother. So there are a lot of brothers out here doing a lot of positive things and doing the right things, but no one wants to talk about that. It's not as popular to talk about the good things that black people are doing. And that's why I want to show them anytime I can on this particular channel, to give these people some time before the world as well. Yes, the news media interviewed him, but you know what? We need to talk about these brothers and sisters a whole lot more than what we do, instead of, you know, what the people doing is bad.
Here's one. He was raised in the impoverished south side of Chicago and defied the odds by becoming a self-made millionaire by the age of 14. Well, he wants to help you become just as successful. Please welcome celebrity entrepreneur, philanthropist, and best-selling author, Dr. Farrah Gray. Good to have you, Dr. Gray. It's good to see you. Welcome to San Antonio.
I love it here.
You are here for a big event. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I got to tell you, I've been a reporter and TV host now for 3.5 years. I have never seen anybody with as many credentials and accolades as you have, starting at the, it's impressive. We'll try to get through some of these quickly. You were a self-made millionaire at the age of 14. What inspired such a entrepreneurial spirit so young?
Well, I believe that comfort is the enemy of achievement. I grew up very poor on the south side of Chicago in the housing projects. And my mother had had a heart attack. I think everybody needs a pivotal moment. The doctor said that she may not live, so I woke up one morning and I said, I'm not going to come home. I was 6 until I helped my mom pay the bills, and I took oversized rocks in the streets and I started painting them. And I would knock on people's doors and I would ask them, would you like to buy this? If people look at me as if to say, isn't that the rock that was in front of my door? I was like, yeah, but see, it's different now. It can be used as bookends, paperweights, and door stoppers. That was my first business.
You knew how to sell it. And since that time, you've gone on to receive an honorary doctorate at the age of 21. You've been featured in thousands of print and magazine publications and eventually became an author, youngest person to have an office on Wall Street. How did you stay on the right path?
I'm a strong believer that when you find your area of excellence, that's the key.
And what was yours? What was your area of excellence?
One, I was always good at entrepreneurship. 2, I could always cook. That's why I started my food company, which really made me my first $1 million. So I created a strawberry vanilla pancake syrup, got a book called From Kitchen to Market, took it to the next level.
I was going to say, that's another accolade. I don't even have that one on my list. Right, you became the CEO of Farrah Gray Publishing, which published the New York Times, USA Today, the Guinness Book, and that popular series we know as Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Well, they're actually my distributor.
Yes.
So we published our own grouping of books, which does include a New York Times bestseller as well.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. So now I want to talk about this book, Real-Yonaire. That was your first book endorsed by, I believe it was President Clinton endorsed that book, and a host of other people. That's amazing.
Thank you.
What's Real-Yonaire about?
A Real-Yonaire is someone who is rich from the inside out. We see so many people living day to day with so much money and popularity, but they haven't built inner wealth. So we see them getting put over for DUIs, going to jail.
That's true.
Living really, I think, on what I call a self-sabotage mission. But what I've discovered is that you have to balance the inner richness and the outer richness, and that's what a Real-Yonaire is, someone who is rich from the inside out.
So that's what you talk about in your book, really establishing who you are first, and the money will come, essentially, is
Absolutely.
what you're saying.
And finding your area of excellence, because the two most important times in anybody's life is when we were born and when we find out why we were born.
Yes, you were the youngest member on the board of advisors at the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce. What kind of pressure was that? I mean, to sit at this, it's a pretty big position, right? Did you feel prepared and worthy of being there?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I think it's important to always be prepared. I would say if you stay ready, you won't have to get ready.
Yeah.
So
That's
being
good.
on
That's
the
good.
board of the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce basically gave me a front row seat of commerce and business, and also helping and assisting in making decisions. And of course, some people looked at me like, isn't this kid, you know, wasn't he born yesterday? And I would say, yes, I was born yesterday, but I stayed up all night.
Very good. I love that. I love that. There's so many elements in your books, and you talk about how people can adopt some of your ways
Yes.
of thinking to become millionaires and to become rich, as you put it, from the inside out. And you're going to be doing that and sharing that tonight at an event that's here in town. Felicia Madison is with the Alamo City Black Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Felicia. I can imagine when you're scouring the country trying to find somebody who's going to be worthy and who's going to say something powerful to this audience, you got the right person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I saw him, I was blown away, so we had to get him here.
Yeah, and when you have somebody like this who speaks to a great number of people, you hope that feeling resonates amongst other people in the audience, and they'll go out and do something great as well. Isn't that the idea, Felicia?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
So what is the single most important thing you can tell somebody outside of inner richness and having it transfer in their quest to just make it day to day?
Everything we want is on the other side of fear. We have to develop a healthy fear of not doing the things that we want to do.
Yeah.
It's usually fear that gets in the way of our goals, our mission in life, and our prosperity. So I believe that not only believing in yourself, but also, again, as I talked about, finding your area of excellence and your true purpose. And I always tell people, ask yourself 3 questions if you want to find your area of excellence. First question, what comes easy to me but harder to other people?
What is your gift, essentially?
What is your gift?
Yeah.
What were you put here to do? Second question is, what would I do and work for years and years to come and not get paid for it, and how can I be of service?
That's good. That is good. That is good. I am so delighted.
It's a bittersweet thing, yes it is now.
I had to type in each and every school. Parents won't be able to change their child's grades or anything.
Its design is simple to make life easier for Memphis City school parents and teachers.
It's gonna check and make sure your device is registered.
In a world where everyone has all the info they need at their fingertips, Devin Snipes couldn't believe there was no MCS application. So he designed one.
I couldn't find the phone number to my own school one day when I was calling to check on a book, and I just started from there with my server.
On the MCS app, users can locate a specific school, find the nearest school using the GPS on the phone, find contact information for administrators, and even report a problem.
You have a lot of settings in the application where you can customize to the like and feel of how you want it. There's another administrative feature.
The MCS app is not Devin's first. He was first impressed by the variety of iPhone apps just last year and taught himself how to make his own. He's now even making money by putting advertisements where his apps are available.
I've made some entertainment applications, an application that tells you if you're ugly or not. I made a chatting application where you can be almost 1,000 feet away and you can be Bluetooth chatting with someone.
Devin has turned a hobby into a small business and would like to study computer science after high school. But for now, he wants to help the Memphis City Schools iPhone users have better access to their school system.
It's not just for the parents, it's also for kids as well, so, you know, anyone can use it.
Who's already becoming an internet sensation, a super seller without using any tricks. In just 3 days, you have made her the most viewed story in 2020 history on Facebook. 3 million views and growing. Here's Jay Shadler with the reason why.
The name of my company is Super Business Girl. Okay.
Now today, I am seeking a $20 investment. I'm going to purchase the necessary tools I need to expand and grow my business. Our mission is to recognize the true potential in every child.
11-year-old Asia Newsom could sell dust to a desert, or Detroit to itself.
Detroit is a wonderful place. It's been a lot of negative things on the news, but Detroit is still a great place to start a business. I mean, I sell my candles here. Like, I make pretty good money. So
Asia is co-founder and CEO of Super Business Girl, a little company she runs with her parents, selling homemade candles to buy clothes and food for needy children, as well as her own school supplies. Were you always good at this kind of thing?
well, I think so. Since I was about 4 or 5 years old, I always had, I don't know, a little Powerball that keeps me going. Hey, now.
With her dad, Michael, always nearby, we watched Asia make her pitch on sidewalks, markets,
I am seeking a $20 investment.
and city barbershops.
One word to describe her: fearless.
My name is Asia Newsom.
And effective.
Thank you very much. Good doing business with you.
Has she sold you anything?
Of course. She stole my heart.
And not just his.
The name of my company is called Super Business Girl.
Good for you, darling.
Now today, I'm seeking a $20 investment so I can purchase the necessary tools I need to expand and grow my business. And then in return for the $20.
Now, how about a $100 bill, sweetheart?
Oh my.
Look at me, look at me. How's that? Awesome. Well, here you go, sweetheart.
Asia's classic power pitch, sealed with a kiss from a stranger. While spending time with Asia, I couldn't help wondering what she would do with that same litmus test we showed you earlier. If you had to sell that pen to me, how would you go about doing that?
Excuse me, sir. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Well, I'm fantastic. My name is Asia Newsom, and I'm known as Detroit's youngest entrepreneur. And I really need you to help me out with this $15 investment. And in return, I'll give you this beautiful gray pen. I mean, like, don't you have a notebook? You really need this.
Where's my wallet? You're good. So good that even when Asia fails to close a deal,
I do not even have any cash on me.
She usually manages to keep a door open.
And we're actually hosting a bazaar that maybe you might be interested in selling your product.
So I'm training to be an entrepreneur.
For cynics who might be thinking she's just running a glorified lemonade stand here, listen to these folks.
She really understands business concepts a lot better than most adults that I interact with, and it's just a natural thing.
Dave Anderson, along with his partners Mike Ferlito, Amanda Lewin, and Brian Davis, own Bamboo Detroit, a business incubator for startups and entrepreneurs.
Perfect.
A year and a half ago, Dave bought a candle from Asia on the sidewalk.
Go for it.
Filmed their encounter and raved about her sales technique to his partners.
So she came into Bamboo. I'm like, how old are you? When I was 11 years old, I was playing with Power Rangers, and immediately I'm like, let's do this, let's get on board.
So now the company gives Asia free space and internet support to develop her business.
You're going to learn this in this class.
And train other kids in the art of the sale.
They taught me about how much money do I have to invest back into my business.
Bamboo Detroit staff even offered a few tips on how she might improve her celebrated sales pitch.
Like sometimes I can be a little scripted, but when I really add my personality and myself into it, like, excuse me, they're like, oh my God, hi, how are you? Of course, here's $1 billion.
Here's $1 billion.
I melted some wax and then I poured like scents and dyes in there.
What are some of your dreams for Super Business Girl?
To have Super Business Girl stores and, you know, just different places, like the Walt Disney store.
Oh, right, sure.
They can buy my Super Business Girl merchandise. Excuse me, sir.
But not every sales pitch ends like a Disney movie. Sometimes the magic doesn't work. Cold calls and cold shoulders are just part of the game. If you just had to pinpoint the few things that people who want to be salespeople do wrong, what are they?
They're not motivated enough.
People give up?
Yes, people give up. Opportunities can walk away like that.
Of course, childhood eventually walks away too. Asia knows that and seems to be preparing for the day. You know, you're so cute that makes the selling easier.
Well, a little bit, because as I'm getting older, it's not fading away, but just a little bit I have to step up my game. Because it's not going away, but I don't know, it's like participating just a little bit, just a little bit.
Where's it going?
I don't know.
I
To
know.
other children that I'm teaching.
They say even a candle can push back the darkness. Well, Asia's already sold a lot of candles. And tonight, Detroit's a little brighter for it.
Now today, I am seeking a $20 investment.
And Motown has a new supreme business girl.
I'm the boss of the game, that's what people call me. Now people get it right. My daddy's Money Mike, I'm bona fide. Super business girl, 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 girl.
It's a mighty sweet thing, yes it is now.
American Morning, the most news in the morning, period. Weekdays 6 Eastern.
She just set an aviation record and she's looking to do many more. Kimberly Anyadike is thought to be the youngest African-American girl to fly solo cross-country. We say thought to be because they hadn't tracked such records officially before. But she's with us this morning from Compton, California's airport in front of the plane that made history. Thanks for being with us this morning, Kimberly.
It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. Thank you.
Well, I was amazed when I read about your story. You flew 7,000 miles. You flew from Compton, California, all the way over to Newport News, Virginia, and back again in 13 days. What was that like, taking on such a huge undertaking in the sky?
It was so amazing. All the people I met, all the people I got to socialize with. I even made a couple new friends. Even meeting some of the legendary Tuskegee Airmen, it was such an exhilarating experience for me.
Yeah, it's very interesting because with you on that flight was your instructor, Levi Thornhill. He's 87 years old. He was one of the Tuskegee Airmen. How did you get to know him? What was your connection, and why was it so important to you to have him there? And as I understand it, many of 50 other Tuskegee Airmen signed your plane. There you see it.
Well, I had a safety pilot. His name is Ronell Norman, but Mr. Thornhill, he sat behind me and he never complained once. But he was such a motivational person. He's a mentor to me. I met him after I joined the program about 2 years ago, and the plane that I flew is dedicated to him, so I thought it was a good chance to give honor directly to him.
Well, I think it's wonderful. You fell in love with flying at the age of 12, which is pretty young. You were able to take part in this really special program. It was a Compton-based aeronautical museum, and they actually offered aviation lessons through an after-school program for disadvantaged youth. How did you become a lover of flight?
Well, I think I've always been interested in flight, but when we read about Tomorrow's Aeronautical Museum, we thought it was such an amazing way to, put the idea to practical means. So we decided to take a demo flight, and ever since we were hooked.
What did your mom say when you came home and said, hey, I think I'm going to fly solo across the country?
She was really excited for me because I'm doing something different, something that I want to be doing, so she was extremely excited.
Now, as I understand it, it wasn't just smooth sailing the whole time. You guys had some storms, right? And you encountered some treacherous weather along the way. What was it like dealing with that in the air?
It made me kind of nervous because all these things that I was facing were some new things, so I was just acting upon my instincts and stuff like that. And I've learned to stop over-controlling and to be more in control of the plane, so I thought that was a really good experience. So now I feel like I'm prepared for the worst.
And you're also prepared, as you want to do, break some more records. This is what you want to do now. You want to become the youngest African-American girl to fly four solo 4 single-engine planes and 2 helicopters in one day. Where did you come up with that?
Well, of course, there's a little rivalry between my sister and I, but of course it's motivational. So I wanted to have my license by the time I'm 17, and I thought it was a cool way to kind of live my dream, I guess.
And your sister's older than you, right? She also set records prior to you getting involved. So as you said, it's a friendly sibling rivalry. But forget all of this. Your ultimate goal is to become a cardiovascular surgeon one day as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, you
It's
got
my dream.
It's your dream. I got to tell you, you're an inspiration. I think it's wonderful, and just proof that you can get out there, think something is impossible, and do it anyway. And so you got a wonderful, wonderful story, Kimberly. And thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is no ordinary flight. It is a dream come true for some high school students in Florida. They actually built a plane. As Luann Sorrell of CNN affiliate WSVN reports, it's all part of the unique project initiated by one man.
This is the moment that dozens of students have been waiting for.
I'm very excited, actually. I can't explain, you know. It's really happy.
Barrington Irving, the youngest and first black pilot to fly solo around the world, now behind the controls of a plane built by 60 of his students over the summer who were inspired by his historic feat 1 year ago.
The first part that we started was this, on what was like the bar. We started constructing sheet metal and started building tunnels because there was no engine at first. And then the engine came in after, then we started constructing the wings. I love them. You know, some of them, you know, I'm like their father, and their father, and, you know, we pushed them. We pushed them real hard. We rode them real hard. You know, some of them wanted to give up sometimes, and we just kept riding them.
Since touching down at Opa-locka Airport in June of 2007, Captain Irving starting the nonprofit organization Experience Aviation, taking inner city youth under his wing, teaching them that the sky's the limit.
It's really like helped me to decide what career I wanted to do.
And what do you think you want to get into now?
I want to be a pilot.
After the program, I decided I want to go study aeronautical engineering. And now that the airplane is done, I figured, you know, anything is possible.
To know that you have kids anywhere from 13 to 18-year-olds that built the plane, it's a little bit nerve-wracking.
But with faith in his students, Captain Irving hopping into the single-engine plane, a trip that brought him to tears and inspired the next generation.
You don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to build a plane in 10 weeks. You don't wake up and do that. And to get the opportunity to do that is awesome, and it makes me feel confident about myself.
Yeah, don't you just want to cheer for them? And they're right, you can do anything. That was Lorraine Sorrell from our affiliate WSVN reporting.
Don't mistake his shyness for weakness, because Justice Williams has you right where he wants you. This 13-year-old is a whiz on the chessboard, a national chess master to be exact, the youngest African-American ever to do it.
I really just want to move instantly and try to get the game over with, but I have to discipline myself and just try to take my time so I don't mess up my winning position.
When he was 8, his mother wanted him to try something different, not basketball or football, but chess, a game he knew nothing about.
I didn't really like chess at first because I couldn't get it, but after a while I was getting it and it became a lot easier for me and I just kept playing.
Once he knew how to play, Justice took off. It's not uncommon for him to play against people 3 and 4 times his age, or several people at the same time.
You can easily tell when people are in a tight position, they usually like to cover up their face or cover up their eyes to hide how they're feeling.
The chess champion is aware his sport of choice isn't on most kids' list of activities, especially young black boys.
I would like to see a lot more young black players. People would just try to go for the top paying sports and stuff like football and basketball, and most of them are not going to make it.
With the help of his mother and lots of hard work, Justice says he hopes he can turn chess into a career.
I want to play chess professionally because I want to be one of the elite players in the world. Playing it is just what drives me, and I like to win.
Quite recently, there was an article in the New York Times on Lorraine Hansberry, and a play downtown off Broadway called To Be Young, Gifted, and Black, produced by her. And there was a picture of her there. And it was a picture that I have seen many times before. But photography, as you know, has its own way of communicating, just its own mediums do. And all I can tell you is that this picture caught hold of me, and in her eyes, this will sound very strange, but not to people who are really hip, she kept trying to tell me something. I was sitting on the bed, and I remember distinctly saying, I would keep looking at the picture and keep looking at the picture. And of course, the memory of being with her many times kept flooding back in my memory. But I said, and I remember, inspiration is a very strange thing. Sometimes it just happens like a light. And I remember getting a feeling in my body. And I said, that's it. To be young, gifted, and black, that's all. And sat down at the piano at that moment and made up a tune. And it just flowed out of me. I knew what I wanted it to say in essence, but I couldn't get the words together. So I called up my musical director and told him what was on my mind, explained to him a little bit about Lorraine Hansberry because he didn't know her. And he captured the mood, and the song was born less than 2 days later. And that's been less than a month ago. So I really think that she gave it to me. That's what I mean when I say that.
My name is William Kampamba, and I'm from Malawi. And the economy of Malawi, most of them will depend on farming. Yeah, we depend on tobacco. I'm 20 years old now. My village, I've got 60 families, and my family, we are about 20. I was dropped out because my parents have no money to pay me a school fees, and a school fees is $80. We have enough wind in Malawi, and I was thinking, what can I do to use that wind so that we can have something? That's why I decided to read some books about the windmills. The first time I saw a windmill in the book, they just come up with the pictures, but they didn't say anything what you can do to build that windmill so that you can generate electricity or you can pump water.
You figured that out on your own?
Yeah, I figured out on my own. If this windmill is in this book, if I can try, maybe I can make mine so that I can have electricity in home. The time I was set to build a windmill, I was 14 years. It took me about two months to build a first windmill. They couldn't believe that I'll make something to generate electricity. What makes people to start realizing that this thing is useful when you power a radio.
Was it music that was on the radio?
It was a local Malawian reggae music. And most of the people, they didn't know what I'm doing. They thought that maybe I'm going mad and maybe I'm crazy. And I didn't see any much support on the first time, but after I've built a little windmill, when some people start realize that, oh, maybe this is the useful thing, maybe we should help him. Yeah.
That's so cool.
I went to the library to turn the books, and the librarian asked me, oh, you have built the windmill using the knowledge from this book? And I said, yes. Oh, okay. I'll come to your home so that I can see. And the guys came with some journalists and write an article about the windmill.
That's like this?
I took a tractor fan.
Well, first off, when you see these enormous windmills, what are your first impressions?
From a photograph in a textbook, William built a windmill. This is a story that should be shouted from the rooftops.
My dream is to finish my education and in the future to start my own company about the windmills. Most of the people, they want technology, about the internet technology, but they cannot use the internet technology without electricity. That's what I'm planning to do, is to come up with the reliable electricity. Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do.
Open your heart to what I mean. You shouldn't leave now. In the whole world, you know, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted, and black. And that's a fact.
Don't let his age or his size fool you. The young man you're about to meet may be one of the smallest philanthropists around, but he's doing big things to make a difference. And NBC's Mark Potter has his story.
Sir, can you please sign in?
At a food giveaway program for 200 underprivileged residents in Miami,
Oh, yeah, that one's heavy.
the boss is on hand, helping out.
Well, right now they're coming in, and if they signed in, they just come, and then they get the food, and we give them the food.
Weighing only 53 pounds and barely 4 feet tall,
Dude, I need your help.
9-year-old Joshua Williams really is the president of Joshua's Heart Foundation, which feeds the poor and visits the elderly.
But sometimes they're lonely and sad, so then we went there to cheer them up and make them happier.
At Joshua's insistence, his mother, Claudia McLean, helped set up the foundation 3 years ago and says with the help of grants and donations, it has fed 7,000 people.
This is a young man who has literally brought a piece of heaven to this city and to this community.
Joshua's charity began when he was just 4.5, giving away a $20 gift from his grandmother to a homeless man.
I felt sad for the man. He was poor, he was weak, he had no place to stay.
Soon he wanted to do more after seeing a Feed the Children TV commercial.
1.5 million children are homeless in the United States.
For most,
and he started crying and he asked me if I could adopt the children. And I was like, no, I don't think so. That's a lot, honey, but we could send some money to them to help out. He's like, Mom, that's not good enough. That won't help. There are too many children.
And so Joshua's charity began and grew, attracting sponsors, classmates, and adult volunteers. He's now trying to raise money to provide meals for needy children on weekends when they're away from school.
Yeah.
A 9-year-old with a big to-do list, a good heart, and a vision. Mark Potter, NBC News, Miami.
You are young, gifted and black. We must begin to tell how young. There's a world, little girl, waiting for you. Yours is the quest that's just begun. So when you're feeling depressed, alienated, and real low, there's a great truth that you should know. To be young, gifted and black, your soul's intact.
We like this one.
Yeah, I like this story. It's quite a story. She's not even old enough to drive, but a New Jersey teen has been accepted into college.
Actually, 13 colleges, several Ivy League schools.
Fox 5's Heather Brown has this interesting story.
Sahila Ibrahim is every college's dream. She plays soccer, softball, the trombone. She scored an almost perfect SAT.
I want to study neuroscience or neurobiology.
And she's a nice, humble, normal girl.
It comes down to the support I've had at home, just from my parents and even from my brothers, being there every step of the way.
Sahila applied to 14 colleges.
I got into Harvard and MIT, Princeton,
Columbia, UPenn,
Stanford, Williams, WashU,
Brown, Cornell,
the University of Chicago, the University of North Carolina, Caltech.
Only one miss, Yale, and no one is quite sure why.
I don't know.
But what might be most amazing about Sahila is probably something that you didn't get from her interview. It's that she was born in 1995. Yep, you do the math. That makes her 15 years old.
Most of the time they'll say that I'm really mature for my age, so I guess that goes to show that age isn't everything.
Her mom knew Sahila was something special at an early age.
Teach her 1, 2, 3, but she want more. You know, you teach her 1 to 5, and she'll touch this, how about this?
She skipped the 6th and 9th grades. By high school, she'd switched from public to private. Her Edison school feels lucky to have her.
She has it all. She's the whole package. She really is.
I want to move with her. I want to go with her, but I think
you'll miss her.
I'll miss her a lot.
Not because you think she needs you.
Oh no, she's ready.
For sure, she'll miss high school, the friends, the sports, the prom.
It's pretty much one of our last chances to be together as a class, so I can't wait.
But it just takes a few seconds of meeting Sahila Ibrahim to know that's probably not the last time we'll hear her name.
It's really your life, and it's important that you take advantage of it. And if that means going to college younger, that's just the way life is for you.
In Edison, New Jersey, Heather Brown, Fox 5 News.
Good girl. Well, in case you're wondering, she's going to Harvard. She'll probably invent the next Facebook or something.
We hope so. We'll be hearing good stories.
Don't you forget it! Your soul's intact! Oh, I'm feeling good now. Yes. Langston Hughes is gone, but he meant
South can be brutal, and it's not exactly the place for a preteen.
But one young Metro Atlantan is succeeding in business, and she's not really trying. Good Day Atlanta's Tacoma Perry is here now with more on her amazing story. Tacoma, good morning.
It is amazing, and she's cute as a button. If you can make money off of being cute, this girl be a billionaire, tell you. She's young, but she's savvy, and she's done at 11 what many adults are struggling to do. She's turned her passion into profit. 11-year-old Maya Penn is full of ideas. The 7th grader spends much of her time working them out in her Canton studio.
It kind of depends on what my schedule is, but I like to be in here because I like to create new items, and it's really fun for me.
But unlike most children whose greatest entrepreneurial endeavor involves a lemonade stand, her creations make money. The idea came to her when she was just 8 years old.
I always love to find some fabrics around the house and say, well, this might be able to make a good headband or a good hat or something. And then I thought one day that I could probably make a shop.
Maya designs and hand makes eco-friendly clothing and accessories, and she's now the CEO and owner of her own online company called Maya's Ideas.
These are a lot of different fabrics that I'll use for my tank tops, or my bags, purses, hats.
And her business is gaining her a bit of attention. Not only are her items worn by customers from Italy to Canada, she was recently featured on Forbes.com. But for Maya, fashion design isn't enough. She blogs regularly about her experiences, including her love of animation, something she calls a hobby for now. And the mini businesswoman isn't consumed by the money. At least 10% of her profits are donated to Atlanta area charities, learning at a young age that business should always be personal.
I like making people happy through my items, but some people might not have the money to purchase my items. So I try to help other people and make them happy through donating.
Maya says when she grows up, she wants to do exactly what she's doing now. That and making films. Oh, that's cute. Adding that to the repertoire. To find out more about Maya, log on to our website at myfoxatlanta.com. And I have some of her hats here and a scarf, so that one's for you, Gravere.
Oh, thank you.
These are, no.
These are gorgeous.
Okay, you can have that one.
I can
That's the scarf.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Something for me.
Isn't that adorable?
Now, look, I love these hats. She does all this and goes to school, too? How does that work?
Actually, she's homeschooled. You know, we had that story last week about homeschooling. Yeah. She is another homeschooler. She's been homeschooled from the start, and she is only 11, but she's considered in the 7th grade.
7th grade, sharp as a tack. Yeah. Well, it's amazing.
And learning JavaScript because she wants to do her own websites too.
That girl's going places.
Yes, she is.
It's gonna be big.
Thanks, Tacoma.
The rain is gone. Enough, Lena. But it feels so good. By the way, this is a black orchid given to me last night. Where were we? Jersey City, by the Black Students Council, and I preserved it until tonight so you could see it. Aye. Okay, this is the last one. To be young